Welcome to In the Real. This is your host, Eric. Happy to be back. Enjoying things, as we often do here. Not really sure what we're going to talk about here today, but we'll come up with something. It's been a while. And, have another new setup going on here, so playing with the mic, the location of it, might sound a little strange. For those who have been following In the Real, again, my name is Eric. I am your host, the one and only host. My recent post was a review for some items that I purchased. Kind of fun stuff. They were lightsabers from a company called Ultra-Sabers. They do some fascinating things there. It's incredible on what they do. Now, I'm not going to go through another review of them here. Just going to talk a little bit about what I did when I had noticed at some point in time I was watching some Star Wars stuff. Well, a little background information there. I am a Star Wars nerd. I'm not going to hide that. And I don't say it in a negative light, calling big fans of Star Wars nerds or anything like that. It is what it is. Big fan. I was a fan of Star Wars before I even understood what Star Wars was. I found Darth Vader to be an awesome dude before I knew he was a bad guy. And of course we know now through the series, he didn't start off as a bad guy, became a bad guy, and then he ended not a bad guy. So it is what it is. That being said, lightsabers are always a cool thing. So following up now, I had noticed at some point in time, I can't recall, I think it was when I was looking up Daisy Ridley and seeing how she was working through the whole Star Wars movie kind of stuff. And there was this video of a person, she's on YouTube, her name's Michelle, but she does some very fascinating things with staff, as well as lightsabers. And Daisy Ridley had watched a video of her doing some moves, and she was taken by surprise. She was in awe. And Michelle, she's from Canada. She does some teaching for stuff like that. She's truly amazing. And so I started researching things about lightsabers and where you can get them, how you can get them, what they cost, if you could make your own, how to do that, those kind of fun things. So I did a lot of research. I found a lot of companies that make lightsabers. I found a lot of do-it-yourself, make your own lightsabers, and some of those you probably don't want to duel with. And I wasn't really sure if I would be dueling with it or not, or swinging it around, and I didn't want it to break, fall apart, things like that. And when I start getting into something, I kind of get obsessed and do overkills. I want to do it right and perfect and stuff like that. And by no means do I make everything perfect. I screw stuff up a lot, and I didn't want to get into all of that. So I did some heavy research on purchasing and maybe having them built or created, or existing ones already made, things like that. And it's a wonder. I'm not going to post a lot of companies on here, but if you search in Google or whatever web browser you have, or your search engine, lightsabers, you'll find a lot of companies that do make them. You could also do it on YouTube here, looking for reviews on different companies, and people have opinions and what they like and don't like, and I'm not putting anybody down, but I've noticed some people get a little butthurt about something, and then they think the company sucks. Okay, that's your experience, that's fine, but I took all of that into consideration when I started balancing out where to go and purchase them. And Ultra Sabers seems to be, I guess, a big primary location for people to go and purchase them. Now, I went through a couple other companies and I built some and saw the price and saw some of their pre-existing ones, saw those prices, and ultimately I found Ultra-Sabers to be a very good, general place to start. You could get some relatively inexpensive lightsabers there, and you can get some really expensive ones, and you can really build something up that's amazing. So now, again, that review is all there. Go and check it out. It's my lightsaber review for Ultra-Sabers. I did it by video. The lighting sucks. I don't do a lot of video, and I wanted to make sure it was dark enough to light up the lightsabers to see them, so that, the lighting's not that great, but some cool sounds in it, and I discussed really what I have. But they do a good job. My experience with them, in customer service wise, phenomenal. They did great when it comes to customer service. I had read on there the lead time for Ultra-Saber, or your orders, through Ultra-Sabers was about 3-4 weeks. But, companies list what they list, and it doesn't necessarily mean that's true. It doesn't necessarily mean it's false either. So what I did is I emailed them after, I think, about a week and a half, and asked, hey, I understand you might be busy. I'm just getting an idea where my order is as far as in the process. I'm not expecting them anytime soon like that. I worded it in a decent way to not give the idea I'm going, hey, what the F, man, where's my stuff? I wasn't trying to be like that. And a couple of days went by, I got a response. They said, we see your order, it's still in process due to the movie just coming out and the holidays. We've been really, really busy. Our lead time's 3 to 4 weeks, so forth and so on. I was like, all right, great, thanks. I appreciate it. Just wanted to make sure things were all kosher and good to go and everything's fine. Wonderful. At the end of that week, which was week number 2, my order went from processing to shipped. And I was like, oh, wow, this is great. That was fast. It didn't take 3 to 4 weeks. So it can go quicker. But some people have their reviews going into taking 4 weeks, 8 weeks, depending upon what they've ordered, things like that. So, but they do a good job. And their email response was very professional. There was nothing catty about it. So I really didn't have a problem with them. I posted a review because part of the bargains that they had was if you do a review, you can get some points, and points create discounts. And so that's why I did that, because I want to buy some more because they're very cool. I mean, the only thing that would make them better is if they really did what we think lightsabers do. But that's neither here nor there. At the end of it all, I would check them out if, that fancies you. Maybe you know somebody that would like one as a gift. And they have this area called mystery boxes where you can pay $75 or $200. The $75 ones, they pick anything and send it to you. You can have a couple of modification guarantees there, like maybe a blade length. I'm not really sure. But if you want it to be heavier duty blade, you can do that, and cost a couple of bucks, $10 I think it is. But the $200 version is guaranteed to have sound. They all light up, but you can't pick the colors or anything like that. But for $200, you're guaranteed to have sound. The lightsabers you're going to get are guaranteed to at least be what you paid or more. I don't know if that's necessarily a guarantee they write or if it's kind of an unwritten rule. When I looked up the $200 one that I got, it was definitely worth $200. So I was happy for that. And the $75 ones that I got, I didn't really look into a whole lot about their value. I didn't expect much out of them. But the neat thing about the $75 ones, you could get one with sound as well. That one's just generic. You get whatever. It's just paying for the guarantee of the sound. So, and I wanted one for sure with sound. So that's the route I went for for that. Now, when I purchased mine, they had a special going on where you hit a certain dollar amount, you get free lightsabers. And they had it in a tier, so there was like 4 possible lightsabers you could get for free, and that's spending a lot of money. So I ended up with at least one free one, and you don't really know what you're going to get. I mean, they tell you what you're going to get, and I'm not really sure it's going to have anything fancy or anything like that, so didn't expect much out of that. But they're all fun and cool, so check it out. They're wonderful little things to have. Maybe think about the holidays coming up. So, but that's that. On to other stuff. We are all here in the U.S. being, I guess, encouraged to stay in our homes because of the current cotangent flying around, the COVID-19 virus. Now, I have some pretty strong personal opinions about the situation, and I'm not saying I am right and people are wrong, and I'm certainly not saying other people are right and I'm wrong. You know, it is what it is. I was in the military, and I have a pretty good understanding of how the military works. And when it comes to government, you have to understand on a general level, the government is nothing more than the management for a business through any country. That's just what they do. They manage the country and the business of it, and that's what's happening. We don't always agree on how they do it, and that's fine. The current president we have, people like, dislike. Oddly enough, on that subject, I find that people just dislike him, just disagree with everything about him, whether it's good or bad. And I find that rather odd. Now, I'm not a supporter of Donald Trump, but I'm also realistic in understanding that he is the president of the United States right now. End of story. Get over it. He's going to do good things. He's going to do bad things. Wasn't a fan of Obama. Did good things, did bad things. In the grand scheme of things, if you take a step back and look at history, it doesn't matter who's in that office. Good things happen, bad things happen. And depending upon who's there, it's just satisfying one half of the country, and then it goes to the other half of the country. It's just the way that it seems to be. If we really want that to change, we can't pick one from one of the two parties that are commonly in there. But try to get everybody to understand that concept is, a different story. So it doesn't matter who's there. We pick the best out of the least of the two evils kind of situation. But it is what it is. So, and at the end of the day, you do what you can, and whoever's there is there. Just move on with your life. I cannot tell you. I have family members that just despise this person, and their whole living is now wrapped up in this. I hate to say hatred, but it's almost like that. It's like, Jesus, just let it, shut the news off, stop watching that garbage. If there's one thing I've realized about the news, it's just fueling that anger at best. And it's unfortunate. I think the news media outlets have really failed nowadays. I can remember back a long time ago. I'm getting off the COVID thing for a moment here, but news outlets, I remember they used to report the news, and that's all you had to do. And maybe I wasn't savvy enough to understand they were leaning one way or the other in their opinions when they broadcast the news. I don't know. But nowadays, it really does seem to be that way. And I think that's a disservice and a failure on their part. Now, I understand, again, they are also a business and they need to make money. So for them to make money, they need people to be clicking on their stuff and buying their stuff and watching their stuff. And it makes it a lot easier to do that when you make it sound so over the top, amazing, or grotesque. And it's unfortunate that it has to be that way. So I haven't watched news stations like committing to it. Obviously I see them from time to time, but I don't tune into them locally or nationally globally, doesn't matter, because they're doing a poor job. And I don't want to hear that garbage. You're not giving me the facts. You're giving me your perspective on the facts. Well, that's not what I want. If I want a personal perspective or a company's perspective, I'll go ask them. But if I wanted the news on what's going on, I want to know what's going on. I want the facts of the situation, and I want it on the positive side and the negative side of the situation, not from your perspective. If I want an individual's perspective again or a company's perspective, I will go ask them. I don't want yours. So I don't watch the news. There's nothing on there that's for me, so I avoid it. So I'll read something from here or there, look something up, and if it strikes of an interest, I'll go research the heck out of it. And I can guarantee you there's not a social media outlet for which I pay any attention to when it comes to facts. I've been noticing on our common social media, Facebook, there is a lot of garbage coming out even for our current situation. And it's unfortunate because there are people that just listen to that, read that, take it for facts instead of face value, and then people run with it. And it ends up turning into a nightmare. I mean, look at our current situation just with toilet paper, people. Come on. What has it been? 1 week we've been cooped up? I haven't used a whole roll yet. What are you people doing with it? I have no idea. And there are people that are running low, running out, and now they're without it because everybody had to empty the shelves, and now everybody's in a desperate moment. That's pathetic. That's not coming together as a country. Sorry to say. That's working against it. And that's not what we need. So, news outlets, horrible job, in my opinion. Let's just understand that, hear it in the real. This is my opinion. I'm not saying I'm the almighty right here or anything like that. You can disagree, that's fine. Just be appropriate in your commentary when you make comments on the page here. And I got something about that too in a moment. We'll get to that in a minute. But let's help each other out. That's what it's all about. You know, when I went out today, I've been to a grocery store probably 3 times this week. And where I'm at, people are being okay. They're not going over the top about anything, and people are being respectful and responsible. I will say I've seen some people horribly not covering their mouth when they cough or sneeze as if they're germ-free, and I'm sorry, you're just not. We're all full of germs. Be respectful. But, hey, it is what it is. But yeah, generally speaking, things have been, pretty decent. Now, one thing I have to say I really enjoy, it is like a ghost town driving around. Oh my gosh. I've mentioned this a few times in the past, and I've been telling people for decades, the population of the planet is out of control. There are too many people. And where I live, it's not as bad as other places, but my goodness, it's bad enough. So when I do go out now, it's so light in people being out that it's just wonderful. I was like, my goodness, this is the way the planet should be everywhere. Space. A little less hustle and bustle. It would do the planet some good too. So think about that. But getting on to the COVID situation, from I guess what I've been gathering, I'm not going to spread any information here. I'm going to be careful here. I've been reading stuff about it, and it would seem, now I am going to say a couple things, so just hold on here. It would seem the elderly are the highest risk, and that included also with people with pre-existing conditions. So that being said, just understand, everybody, pre-existing conditions can be of all age groups, from infants to the elderly. So you don't want to expose what you might have to other people. Pause for a moment. If there's a glitch in the audio here, I hit a button. So be considerate for that. if you go out in public, you could be infected and not even know it. We've learned that's a capability and a possibility. And then you're going to infect other people without knowing it. And you might not. But you have to assume that if you are infected, other people are going to get it from you. They're going to take it to where they're going. And that's how this stuff spreads, obviously. But some of the people have pre-existing conditions. And they're the ones that are going to go down hard. And that could be somebody that looks completely healthy to you. You don't know their situation, okay? I work in the medical field. I see some people that are in a horrible situation health-wise, but you couldn't tell. And that is what we're trying to help in preventing from, people becoming, fatally or deathly ill because of pre-existing conditions or their age. It's just their natural biology just might not be able to take it. I mean, we're all the same. We understand that, but every person is different from another one biologically, chemically, and things will affect us all differently. We have to understand that concept. We're all the same when we're all not the same. So be careful, be considerate, be respectful, use your head. You are not the cleanest person on the planet. I'm a germphobe and I'm not the cleanest person on the planet. I know that. Everybody has to admit that to themselves. We're all pigs when it comes down to it. We're human beings. We secrete-ish. That's just what we do. So accept that. Yeah. Heads out of the tails, be considerate of others. It's just that simple. When we move past all of this, things are going to be different. We can't expect it not to be. Right now, we have switched from a world of absolute convenience, desire, and immediate gratification to having to do stuff ourselves, curbside assistance, delivery, and in some respect, I'm going to say rationing, but limiting, I'll say. That's a little bit better. We've come to that. Some people aren't going to do very well, business-wise. Some people are going to flourish from it. Some people are going to find new things about their businesses that they never thought possible before and be able to change it for the better and sometimes not. Now think about it. Right now, some businesses that are open are running on a skeleton crew to put out as much product as they can because that's what the nature of business is. They're going to find they don't need that kind of staffing to produce nearly what they were before. They're going to find new ways to do it with less. And that means people are probably going to start losing jobs. Not only because a company finds a better way to do something out of this situation, but because they can't afford to return to what they once were. Because people are going to be concerned about going out, concerned about spending money, uncertainty sets in. All this stuff is going to start welling up issues. Now, our economy was doing pretty well. And now it's, going to take a dive. And hopefully it springs back. But we have to expect that it's going to be challenging nevertheless. So keep that in mind as well. We got some hard times coming. The old saying, it gets worse before it gets better. Yeah. This could be it. So, well, it's going to be a situation like that. And hopefully it doesn't last very long. So be positive. Don't spread garbage. If you're on social media a lot, definitely do. Not personally, I'm not. I'll scan through it. And honestly, when I go on social media, not to be creepy, but I'm just looking at people's fashions. That's all. I don't care what people have to say, what they're doing in their lives. It means nothing. Nothing excites me for them. I'm exploring the world on my own, and I'm exploring my life on my own. So, even friends and family, hey, great, you did something wonderful. I don't care. That's for you. And that's a whole nother topic. We don't really want to get into that all that much. But that's my COVID-19 thing. It's gonna pass. We're gonna get by it. My thoughts on it is right now, I think the flu has killed more people in the last 12 months than this has, but I could be off. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I remember having a conversation about that with another medical professional. It's concerning because it spreads so easily, but then again, the flu does. So, and back a little bit on our administration. You guys realize that when Obama was in office, there was some bad stuff happening too? I think it was H1N1. Nobody was blaming this guy for it and hammering on him about it, but yet now we are? Come on. Move forward, people. So, yeah. That's all I'm going to say about that. So what else can we talk about here? This is good stuff. Oh, so my lightsaber review, I went and checked on it, and somebody put a thumbs down. Now, I haven't checked, I guess, a lot of my posts for thumbs up, thumbs down, but I checked for comments, things like that, and I had noticed somebody put a thumbs down, and I'd say 1, 2, 3 seconds it bothered me, and then I started questioning, well, okay, but I don't know what the problem was. Well, this person's an idiot. So if you are listening to this and you put the thumbs down on my lightsaber thing, you're a moron because nobody knows why you didn't like it. Now, if you're going to go back and put why you didn't like it, I have a running rule here in the reel. Don't be an asshole. Be constructive in your commentary, or don't comment at all. And maybe that's what you followed. Hey, great then. But why even give the thumbs down? Nobody can do anything about that without knowing what it is the problem is. Maybe you don't like ultra sabers. Okay. Maybe you think lightsabers are that ridiculous. Maybe you don't like me. Well, get over it. Move on. So that leads me into being destructive on the internet. Disliking things, thumb down thing. Grow up, everybody. It doesn't have to be like that. And I know everybody wants to be tough. I'd say it to their face. Really? I bet you would not. Most of the time, you don't even know who you're talking to on the internet. So the person that you were writing a mean comment to or response to or doing the thumbs down thing, if you were in front of them, you would be judging who that is and probably rethinking what you would say. Maybe you wouldn't. But at the same time, I really want to hold on to human beings having better brain capability than them having the thoughts that they would get away with that or that they would be that cruel to somebody to their face. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, when it comes down to it, clean up your act. I'm imperfect, you're imperfect, everybody's imperfect. You didn't like my lighting on there, my horrible lightsaber skills, whatever. I can't do anything about it. So that led me into talking to some family members about it because they had saw that. It's like, who didn't like that? I'm like, people do that all the time. It's like, well, what didn't they like? I don't know. So like, well, then why did they do that? I'm like, I really can't answer these questions because I don't know who did it. I don't know why they did it. No idea. It was, they could have actually clicked it by accident for all I know. I don't know. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, be nice. I've noticed on Facebook, like I said, I'll page through there sometimes, and the hate garbage on the politics stuff, I am so sick and tired of seeing that trash. I mean, if this is really your outlet in the world, you're telling people this is how you are. Do you know that? Understand that. We like to say things like, don't judge people. I'm sorry, if you say you don't judge people, I'm calling you out, you're a liar. Everybody judges everybody. That is what keeps you alive. Judgment has been around since human beings have been around. The only thing that comes down to being wrong is when you try to pass your judgment on as being the right thing. But we all judge everybody. You do it all the time. You judge your friends within your little friends group. You judge people from your friends outside of your group. You judge people driving down the road. You judge your coworkers. You judge the people on TV. You're just doing it. So let it go. Just understand. Don't pass it on as being what's right. You can believe that you're right. Nobody cares. But once you start preaching that and trying to convince other people that your way is the right way and they're just wrong, no. You can have discussions. You can disagree. Everything's okay there. That doesn't make anybody right over somebody else. We need to change those concepts on judgment and what things are and are not. So, at any rate, what have I been talking here? Maybe about a half hour or so. That's not too bad. Really didn't have much to talk about, like I said. So, yeah. I'm still reading the War of the Worlds. I haven't gotten through even book 1 yet. I've been on a house repair and cleanup for a long time. There was a lot of damage to my house with before my life event change, and I've been taking care of that. So it's been taking a lot of time and effort. So I had my studio taken apart, put back together, moved, and my lightsaber review I did actually on a different computer that doesn't have my podcast set up. So the sound might be different. Heck, the sound on this might be terrible for all I know nowadays. So, yeah, is what it is. Nevertheless, we do what we can here. So I'm going to keep this short here. I am hoping to be a little bit more religious about getting podcasts up, finding things to discuss and talk about. I'm going to give you a warning. My next one, let me back that train up, rethink that. I will have another video review at some point because I did reach back out to Ultra Sabers and get some more toys. So it's inevitable now that happens. Like the points. So that's going to take place. I don't know when. I might end up having another podcast here before that happens. I don't know. But nevertheless, we're going to do a little extra here. Exit, intro, extra. There we go. The music that I started off with, I'm just going to continue with. It's, what is it? Roller Disco Dance. It's, what do you call it? Non-royalty music. That's fun stuff. So, I appreciate your time. Please comment. I'm your host, Eric, for In the Real. And we will definitely see you back here sometime soon. Be safe, stay healthy. Enjoy spring.